Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most gracious series of all the series in the first round. No teams won a game at home. I thought, and I have to admit, I kind of laughed. The announcer, the arena announcer at the end says something along the lines of, game tickets, and he goes, "Let's go Blues." Nothing. The crowd's just they're leaving. Nobody says anything. It is that time of year where complete elation and we're doing great can turn to what? And this series has done that. So the first two videos I do tonight are on series that are wipeouts, and this one is close. And if anybody needed proof that the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets are very evenly matched, tonight was an excellent example of that. And this was a good example, and I know there's going to be people who don't like it. This, to me, was a good example of let them play. Referees kind of putting away the whistles for the most part. I know there are some calls that should have been made maybe one way or the other, but I thought the referees did a good job of kind of letting the teams decide it themselves on the ice. That being said, not a lot of scoring in a game that was actually quite exciting to watch. First period, no scoring. So this is where, for people who haven't liked the Nashville-Dallas series because it's too boring, they'd say this is boringer. But the reality is this was a period that was controlled by St. Louis, 10-5. But Connor Hellebuck, after looking kind of shaky through games 1 and 2, has picked it up in games 3 and 4. Winnipeg gets the only power play in that period and does not score. So the overall picture is still St. Louis, 2 periods left at home. If they win this game, they go up 3-1. They take a stranglehold in the series and they maintain home ice advantage. Second period, pretty evenly played, and these teams starting to really aggravate each other. It is the fourth time they've seen each other. They're probably sick of it, and now we know they'll see each other at least 6 times altogether. And, no scoring in that second period. Shots are tied at 14. St. Louis gets the only power play in that period. It is not fruitful. Third period, the tension's on, and you can feel it. You could feel it in the crowd. You could feel it with both teams and the benches. This is where Pierre Maguire would be climbing over the bench. I'll coach. My turn. And I'm still snickering at some of the stuff I heard during the Tampa games. If you didn't hear it, as long as you're not a big Tampa fan, it's just, anyways, that's for a whole other time. There's a video on the channel, and Pierre, we'll just leave it at that. Tarasenko breaks the tie on a power play. That goal comes from Pietrangelo and O'Reilly. So Tarasenko's starting to pick it up. And off that goal, the crowd goes crazy, and it's like, oh, here we go. But Winnipeg is not rattled. Winnipeg is not shaken. Winnipeg controls most of the third period, and it is Mark Scheifele, who emerged last year in the playoffs as a big-time playoff performer, and he does it again in this game. He gets the goal from Connor and Wheeler. Your game is tied at 1. That first line is abso-freaking-lutely fantastic. That being said, honorable mention tonight to Patrick Laine. Laine has started kind of missing the net again, though. It seems like he's rushing his shots tonight. We'll see whether or not he gets that under control in Game 5 back home in Winnipeg. But they outshot St. Louis 15-6 in the third period. St. Louis had one goal on the 2 power plays they had. Winnipeg did not have a power play in the third period, which felt like that might be the difference. It felt like Winnipeg taking penalties, and this is something that goes back to last season, where the Winnipeg Jets actually had somebody come in and talk to them in the offseason about cutting down on their penalties against Winnipeg, known for shooting themselves in the foot by taking penalties and just not being able to kill everything. But in the overtime, it's very, very well balanced. And I know there was a call they could have made on Buffalo, just like there's calls they could have made on St. Louis during the game. The referees decide, look, unless it's really blatant, which to them the Perreault penalty towards the end of the third period was, so they called one there. But in the overtime, they don't call anything. Winnipeg controls the overtime. It felt like St. Louis was chasing the puck a lot, and the Adam Lowry line isn't the one that gets the goal, but the Adam Lowry line really set it up. The puck control, Andrew Kopp, that was some fantastic puck control. Henrik Sedin and Daniel Sedin will be watching that play in the corner between Lowry and Kopp and saying, that's some amazing cycling. And then the first line goes out there, and it's Connor with his third of the playoffs from Scheifele and Wheeler. The bad news for St. Louis, not only do they lose both games at home, but Winnipeg's starting to look confident, and they're starting to look like a contender. They outshoot St. Louis in the overtime 5-1. Neither team had a power play, as I said, in the overtime. Connor Hellebuck, 31 saves on 32 shots. Fantastic game for Connor. Bennington saves 37 out of 39. I tell you, kid, if you're going to bounce back from a loss, this is how you do it. Kudos to Jordan Bennington for a great game and to Hellebuck. This was a goaltending clinic. The only reason this game wasn't a 4-3 score is because both goaltenders played very, very well. Both square to the shooters, controlling their rebounds, making sure pucks go into the corner instead of out in front of them. Everything you want to see with your goaltenders, and these guys did it. And when a puck did go out in front, that's when their defense was there to clear it away. Vince Dunn had a great game as well. That's one that I want to mention. And this was a very well played game by both teams. So for St. Louis, it's frustrating because once you get to overtime, you're at home. You really want that win. They would have put the Jets down 3-1, but instead, the Jets have tied the series at 2, and now they go home. And in a couple nights' time at home, they will be looking for a Game 5 win. And if they can get that, we may be a little closer to that Nashville-Winnipeg series than this Dallas Stars fan might like. But hey, the truth is that this series and the series in general in these playoffs have been nicely unpredictable and crazy. So this one as well, a little bit more relaxed on the score sheet, but a very good game, very well played by both. And I felt that the right team probably won this game. I know there's St. Louis fans that will push back on that, but you know what? Game 5, we'll see if anybody can win at home. Can anybody win at home in this series? Or will hosts continue to be overly gracious? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you're just tapping upon this video. And yep, there's still one game left for tonight. But that story feels like it's probably already run its course. We're just waiting until it ends. Thank you guys so much for all your support. The growth has been amazing on the channel over the last week, and it has not gone unnoticed. Thank you, each and every one of you, all the newbies who've subscribed, and I'll talk to you again soon.